That validation is something good, especially if you need it for like the work that you're doing. Let's say, for example, like doctors, like you want to make sure that these people like know what you're talking about. For lawyers, having like schooling system and being able to get that certification is very important. Like myself, I do know that I definitely like don't need that as like someone who will be like doing business. And even for like my employees, I know that we don't necessarily need it for what we're specifically doing. What we need to be really focusing more is like these hard skills. So if we go back to before how like schools was happening for like the kids, you know how like most parents, they would send their kids out to the farm. They would be like learning practical things. So I think with the AI and how it's like really shifting, I think that's what we specifically more need of. And whether that may be like for after college for most people, because what does college do? It's like you're gonna be doing like these hard skills, like you would be like what most companies are looking for that we're working with, like our own clients even. It's the hard skills that matter. And like how convicted are you that you're actually good at like your hard skills? So that's like really the biggest thing.
So we're going to start this podcast, and it's the first one we're doing. It's my first podcast. If I'm not wrong, this is your first.
This is my first podcast as well.
We are here at the network school. We're also roommates.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Just a quick introduction about myself. I'm a venture capitalist with a major focus on Indian investments. I'm here at NS, and there are a lot of interesting things happening. The best things that I've come across are from early stage founders. And one of those interesting founders that I met has been you, Kylie. Yeah, let's get started, and maybe we can start off by just having a little introduction about you.
It's a big pleasure to be here on today. And yeah, just to like tell a bit more about myself, my name is Kylie Avante. I'm one of the founders from ADIS. And what we basically help out people do is we have this VA implementation agency from the Philippines where we hire, train, and then basically manage like Filipino VAs for currently just US clinics.
Very nice. And where are you operating from?
So right now, all of the team basically is from the Philippines.
Nice.
And it's been great. Like I have a lot of good teammates, which I'm really, really happy for.
Yeah?
And yeah, it's just been a total pleasure to just be working.
So how about we dive a little bit into what is Philippines, just to understand a little more about the life in Philippines, of the people there, and what is your view and simply your opinion about how, what people are known for there, what's the culture like?
Right, exactly. So I would say that the Philippines is very English first as like a total like society to begin with. So you would really see that, like, for example, like in our education, everything's like really English first. And a lot of like, I guess before like even diving deeper into like the work side of the things, like our culture is just very like mixed between cultures. So we would like be like getting like a lot of like our media from like the US, like East Asian countries, like Japan, Korea. Like basically we're such like, and even like geographically, we're in such like this middle point where we like get and take in like a lot of these different cultures, and we're kind of like this mix in between them while still having like our own Philippine culture. So it's a very interesting take because yes, we do have our Philippine like culture, but it's like the international sense of it is so ingrained within us. So it's like very interesting, especially as we, always like commonly like venture out, we go into like other countries, we do have a very big sense of like also having our talent like kind of like explore.
So yeah, if I'm not wrong, Philippines was under Spanish occupation for a while.
333 years.
More than 300 years now. Okay. Tell us a little more about the life of a young person growing up in Philippines. You're very young. What I would really like to understand is how the internet, because this is the generation of the internet, we're not just people who are influenced by our immediate physical surroundings, but also by the internet that shapes us. A lot of our learnings or education is from the internet. So given how you are a Gen Z and you've grown up with a lot of internet influence, how does that play into how youngsters today view the world?
I would say you know, overall we do like kind of like grow up with the internet. I kind of feel this more because like I am like close to that, like with a lot of like older people, and like I've been listening to like how like they grew up, and because like I know for us growing up connected to the internet already, like by grade 2, grade 3, a lot of us like have a phone already, and like we're just already immersed so much like with gaming and kind of just being connected into some way. Like even my younger cousins these days, they're like what, 6, 7, 8, and they already have like smartwatches, like these Apple watches, like texting each other with voice. It's really interesting. I'd say there's like a lot of good into it, though there's of course still like downsides. But you know, kind of being immersed that early, like even for me, a slightly younger age than most of my peers, that's like me being immersed in it earlier. I do feel like it kind of gave me still that push like to like be more a bit like aware with technology. I would say that like for me, I have experience and like I know like a lot of like these minor details that people don't really like notice. And I guess part of my curiosity too is just overall with like the tech, the internet, just I am very like into that realm too overall. Kind of like still have like some touch into the world like outside of that, which like you get through like school, like through just like your environment. Controlling like what you like actually intake is like very important, especially for like the kids, like kind of like knowing, okay, this is like what I should be focusing on.
So you're saying that you're able to gain that maturity early on because that is how you were exposed to it so much.
The best benefit of it is like information's just like really spread out. Like it's very good. It's like you can easily get any information that you want to, especially with AI.
That's great. I mean, for me, what my observations have been, even in the other regions or parts of the world, especially let's say India for that matter, this is very similar. The generation that has grown with the internet is kind of able to leverage it into so many different things I probably will not be aware of. And especially after being here at NS, I'm able to see how they're a lot more native and a lot more savvy. And I do see a lot more control even, which is very contrary to what I had initially believed, that too much exposure to internet might not be so good because people will not probably know where to draw the line on the usage. But I'm seeing a very different side of how the Gen Zs are using internet for their benefit. So that's amazing. So coming back to Philippines for that matter, can you tell us a little more about what is your view and in your opinion, what does the Philippines economy look like today, and how is it looking for the new generation of the workforce? What do you think are there opportunities, and what is, you know, just a very immediate or current view of yours about Philippines?
Right. I would say because, and I'll talk about like specifically in relation to like the internet and like how like we're like kind of like modernizing outside of just like the typical, let's say maybe like manufacturing or just like the like hard things like in the world, because of how immersed and like how we're such like an English first society. Like I do definitely think kind of like the jobs are like also shifting, because like for example right now Philippines is #1 for call centers in the world. And that the reason why is because like yes, our English accent, like a lot of people prefer our English accent because it's very easy to understand. And like, yes, we do have like a Filipino accent, but
it's a lot more global.
It's a lot more global in the sense that like the accent is like it's not kind of, you don't have to like really think that hard to like really be able to understand it. And that's why a lot like of people like really prefer the Philippines for like their accent in that sense.
Great. So that's good that's very encouraging, especially for our local Philippines folks, that you know, there is reasonable cost of living and there is no dearth for jobs. That is something they can look to kind of grow. What do you think people are choosing as their education these days right out of school? What are the things people are choosing to study?
Study, I would say that like at least for like the college level, like a lot of them really depend. Like I know a lot of people are very into like tourism, like a lot of them are like into kind of just like the business like administration side, so like those like business courses too. And of course like I think like despite like a lot of things, it's also very easy to like transition that into like just typical like online.
Well, admin will also be under some kind of a business education, right? How do people view studies in technologies in Philippines? What is your opinion on that?
I do think like us, like right now at least, to like how can we actually implement like AI better, right?
Ah,
So we
okay.
are like there for sure. I don't think like, to be honest, we're like the top of the top, like as compared
Okay.
to like India. Like I don't think that's like our necessarily strength to begin with. But like for the Philippines, the biggest thing is really just like the customer service,
Ah,
or kind of like how can we like have like this admin work. Our strength, like not
yeah.
gonna lie, it's really just for overall stuff. But like if we were to compete, like of course it's very important to implement it, but I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna be necessarily the ones like leading.
No,
Like
for sure. But coming back to the culture aspect, which is that you guys are a lot more hospitable and you're a lot more into like customer service. You like to have a very hospitable attitude. You like to
Right.
operate in that way. If you were to play on those strengths, I think it would make sense about what kind of career choices people make, even if they're not hardcore technologies.
Right.
I think that's where you're, if I'm not wrong, that is where you're coming from. That administration generally and customer service, which also includes the BPO side of things, is something where people are currently excelling at.
I mean, overall, like we're a very good like supporter. I think that's what I can say like about our
Yeah.
culture. Like yes, like of course we also like love like really pushing like each other and like pushing to the top. But I do really see like in like the Philippines specifically, there's this one Filipino word. It's like makabayan,
Mahabayan.
maka
Maka.
bayan.
Bayan.
And bayan basically means like kind of community. And
Oh.
maka is just like to have it like so together. So
Yeah.
it's like we're like, let's say in a team setting, or if we're like in this like local community, we're really like for the community and how can we actually better improve the community. Like
Nice.
even like you can see it in school, like you can see like these groups, like yes, they don't technically get anything because it's extracurricular, but
Yeah.
they will still like really do their best to like really support.
That's very appreciable.
Yeah, it's a strength and a weakness because like we will really like overexert ourselves just to like really like do like what's best for it. And it's
Yeah.
like whatever that can be done to just really like strengthen that, like it's very
Yeah.
important to us, like more than like kind of individualist goals.
Yeah.
Because like our individualist goal is usually like more towards like how can we make this more like better and like a bigger picture. Once you have this like solid thing into you, like yes, a certificate, like that's what you primarily get from it, like that
A
certificate,
validation.
yeah, that validation is something good, especially if like you need it for like the work that you're doing. Let's say for example like doctors, like you want to make sure that these people like know what they're talking about. For lawyers, like schooling system for that, like and being able to get that certification is very important. But like for like myself, I do know that I definitely like don't need that as like someone who will be like doing business. And even for like my employees, let's say right now, I know that we don't necessarily need it for what we're specifically doing. What we need to be really focusing more is like these hard skills. So kind of like if we go back to before how this like schools was happening for like the kids, you know how like most parents, they would send their kids out to the farm, they would be like learning just like kind of like
doing
really
practical things.
So I think with the AI and how it's like really shifting, I think that's what we specifically more need of. And you know, whether that may be like for after college for most people, or like even if they don't need to feel if they, because what does college do? It's like, it's as if you're gonna be doing like these hard skills, like you would be like what most companies are looking for, especially like for the companies that we're working with, like for our own clients even, it's the hard skills that matter. And how convicted are you that you're actually good at like your hard skills. So that's like,
moving on further, what are your plans now with ADIS?
right now with what we are doing, we were just so focused on like this one vehicle. But then for us and even for our clients to be able to diversify even more, to have this kind of more omnipresence, that's what I really love that part. Instagram, Facebook, these are like very good platforms overall, but like how can we make it so that we have this like some sort of like omnipresence with like the internet, where people basically just can like hear us, they can think of us. I think I talked about like Meta business, like Facebook, like I think like maybe 5 times in our
Yeah.
conversation, and you
Yeah.
kind of just like pointed out like, why do you keep on talking about Facebook and like these companies? And I was like, huh. And then like we started like talking about like going towards other things. So I think
Yeah.
that was like very good.
Other mediums as well,
Other
yeah, for sure.
mediums, and
Yeah.
even like other things put more focus into like think, okay, how can I actually diversify? And then
Yeah.
that's how I also like maybe not even just beyond targeting wellness clinics, we can go to talking like to more like online businesses. Like
Yeah.
why limit ourselves with just like wellness clinics, right? So that was
Yeah.
like a very big realization that I
Yeah.
had too from
Yeah,
just that like one quick
Yeah.
convo that we had. So
absolutely.
it's been, you know, very
Yeah.
great.
Basically, yes, this will bring us to the last topic of discussion today. So, keeping that in mind, clearly there is a need for many businesses and founders. So, makes sense that you will be diversifying now from just the health clinic businesses. And so, tell me, what is this, craze about the Philippines VAs, for which I've had even one founder say, I think that I pay her far lesser than she deserves.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think it's really that, because I think I even like touched on it earlier when I mentioned about like really how it's already such a service arbitrage, because like your pay, like our cost of living there is 3 times less than like the US, and we'll basically do the same exact work just online for you. So it's such a big thing already that like, let's say, as compared to what most people are used to paying 3 times, 2 times, 4 times for, even for like just getting someone local within their community, you can already have Filipinos who work exactly the same way. I will say this not as a Filipino, but after talking to like clients or even other people who kind of comment on the Filipinos, but like everyone always says that like we're hardworking in the sense of like caring about the business.
That is so interesting. I mean, from my experience knowing the Indian market, I would say that's very competitive.
Right.
So yeah, now I see where the jobs are going to go.
No, I think I will tell you this for sure. I know in BPO, which is business process outsourcing, India and Philippines are definitely going to be like the two biggest players.
Yeah.
Why? The English.
Yeah.
Two, such a steal of a deal, basically. And like for most Filipinos, they would be like content with their life. I'm sure with India, similar thing that like they can get their food, they can like get their means set like with like that money too. So they're happy with getting paid that much. We have our own strengths. I don't think it's good for Filipinos to compete to be like the tech oriented. I think you guys like are gonna be definitely gonna be pioneering in that one. For us Filipinos, we, like to play like the best into our strengths. That's you know the customer, the supporting. That's the actually administration work. Any work basically that is like involved in like hospitality, like that care. I remember telling you the word earlier, makabayan, and just putting our care into it. Like that's like really us. So
that's going to be the major differentiating factor,
especially as everything's moving into the internet.
I love that we spoke about this, and that will be bringing us to the end of our chat today.
Exactly.
But it's been so fun.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be here, Sipika.
Yeah. Let's hope there are like helpful, resourceful information in this that people are going to enjoy. Probably even look for ADIS.
Exactly.
When they're looking for their partner in marketing and growth.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you guys do want to look for us, it's just aidus.ai. And we'll be there for you, ready to aid you.
We'll mention that somewhere in the comments.
Exactly.
All right, then. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And yeah, until next time.